What's up and welcome back to the Scuffed Ass Podcast for episode number 266. There's information happening today, I guess. I don't know. Wonder's here. I'm here. We're recording on a Sunday. It feels weird.
Yep, because I'm dumb.
He is. He's not done with volleyball. He lied to all of us.
Well, I was, in my mind, I think when a tournament happens, it's done. After
Right.
that. But I forget that this, league is weird. They have, a midway tournament.
Oh, so you're not even halfway, or you're barely halfway done.
I am. It's halfway through the season. They do this tournament. So, yeah, I forgot about that part. Kind of. I mean, I'm not upset about it, but I was like, shit. Then I felt like an asshole because I told you I'd be free on Mondays.
Yeah, I think starting, I don't know. I think you should not do Mondays starting next year. Or it's like after this season, just because I'm trying to make myself an actual schedule and you keep fucking it up.
Right. I get that. I mean, we could just plan on Tuesdays, but I know you got other shit going on
Right.
Tuesday.
Yeah, so
But
life.
you're like me. Every other day is fucking wonky.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So,
We'll figure, dude.
yeah. But, yeah, anyway.
Yes.
Gotta go to Denver.
Oh, why?
Because my girlfriend gets on her phone and comes across things that she thinks we need for wedding whenever that finally
Oh,
happens.
you haven't even proposed yet.
Well, yeah, I haven't proposed yet, but we're thinking maybe next summer sometime. Not this
Oh,
summer,
this
next
guy.
But I was pretty apprehensive about going to it because I absolutely despise going to Denver. Actually, it's not even in Denver. It's north of Denver. What's it called? Like Aurora or something like that.
Oh, so that's worse because you have to drive all the way
Yeah.
through Denver.
Yes.
But
yes.
I don't know if it'll be worse. If I get any of the places I'm looking at, you're gonna love that.
Yeah, well, we'll
Drive.
see.
Well, actually, you know what the answer is? Because it's what we did when we went and looked. Park outside of Denver somewhere and then just get an Uber.
An Uber.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah.
We parked like
Unfortunately, though,
15 miles
we can't-
out and then got an Uber into downtown. It was great.
Unfortunately, though, unless the Uber is like a big ass SUV or a truck.
God, what are you buying?
So she found these. So kind of like when you have tables and stuff at a wedding, they'll have like decorations on the table.
Yeah.
She decided that she wanted to have we're kind of doing like a country-ish, rustic kind of wedding, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And so she found all these metal watering cans and metal cans and stuff. They're kind of rustic looking, and they got these flower, fake flower. They're fake flowers, but they they look real. But somebody had gone through the trouble to build these, and they're in her mind perfect for what she was thinking in her mind for decorations.
Oh,
on the
no.
table. And I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. I don't really want to go to Denver. And she's like, oh, come on, you can't even buy those canisters by themselves for $200. And so
It's unfortunate that it's not you can't wait longer to go get them. And I understand why you can't. Somebody else will get them. I know, but.
Right. Yeah. And we already told the guy that we would be coming
Yeah.
up on Saturday. So
For sure. That makes sense.
So yeah. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to borrow my parents' SUV
Yeah.
because I don't think they'll fit in my truck. So, and I don't want to have them in the backpack,
Yeah.
So hopefully my folks will let me borrow their SUV.
I've been
Maybe I'll
struggling
start
with
before.
finding a couch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I have a very particular thing I want, and
Mhm.
finding used ones has been a pain in the ass. Well, used ones
Yeah.
that don't suck.
I was about to say I got lucky with my used furniture.
But you also weren't looking for a very particular, like not brand or whatever, but like a very particular type of couch.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
that would help because I've found some decent couches, just not the ones I want.
Right. So, but anyway, I've been wanting to go to Cheyenne to look for rings anyway, so I was like, well, I guess we'll make a trip out of it. I'll go down, we'll grab all those stuff in Denver, and on our way back through Cheyenne, we'll stop there and
Oh, so you're
maybe
gonna have to
go.
go to Denver early.
Yeah, well, we're gonna leave here probably around 8, so
Get
we
there
can
by
get there.
noon ish.
Yeah, yeah. We told the guy we'd be there a little before noon, so um,
Shouldn't be too bad, barring crazy traffic.
yeah. Well, there's always crazy traffic. I remember not too long ago, you used to be able to just shoot through on the interstate and not hit too bad of traffic. Not anymore.
I don't remember a time like that really ever. Um, I don't know. It's never that bad. The last time we went to the airport, it wasn't that bad.
Well, that's because we always take
Well, you
the
have to. And then we pissed everybody off with the airport because we got through. Even after I got stopped for extra security, we got to our terminal in less than 15 minutes.
right.
Dude,
That's probably the emptiest I've ever seen that airport. Honestly,
dude, it is always like that for me. I don't know.
it was worse coming back than it was going there.
I think it just felt worse coming back. I feel like it was exactly the same.
No, because we had to wait in line to go through security.
Well, yeah. Oh, it was worse
From
in
back.
Vegas than it was in Denver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I thought you meant like the capacity at Denver. I was like, I feel like it was exactly the same.
No.
Vegas was different for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure. I do need to send messages to people. I just, not having my own truck, I don't want to like try to make plans to go get a couch.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah. I don't know. I yeah, spent a lot of time at the with my girlfriend's folks last week.
Yeah. How was that? Because you just got home, what, like yesterday?
Yeah. Day before yesterday technically.
Okay.
It was really late, but we decided to, and then Aspen decided to come home with me, so
Oh,
on our way through her temporary town, I just
yeah.
dropped her off. She picked up her truck and she followed me here.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, but it was I'm still sore.
Why are you
Her
sore?
her her dad decided, oh, free labor.
Ah, gotcha.
And so we ended up doing all kinds of crap. Um, the biggest thing was putting metal siding on a shed, um, which I pretty much spent the whole day doing that. And his self tapping screws that he had were not very self tapping. Let's just say they're not like the ones that have like the flat blade on the side so it digs. They're the ones that just have the sharp point.
Yeah.
And so, especially when you're trying to go through two pieces of metal, I'm up on a ladder trying to grab the top of the, roof for leverage to try and push hard enough to get these self-tapping screws to go. And man, I'm sore right through my pec and in my shoulder just from pushing so hard.
Bro was pushing.
I was pushing. Did we
Did
did we
we?
have a podcast? I can't remember when I did my pack test.
I think it
Did we
was
have a podcast?
pre-pack test, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, because we had to record. I think we recorded I think we recorded after the banquet because the banquet was ass. But maybe
Oh,
not. We recorded sometime last week. It was definitely pre-pack test because you left after the pack test.
that's right. Yep. I'm all screwed up because we've been recording on random days.
Right?
Um, but so anyway, yeah, I did the pack test.
How was that? Did you fail?
It wasn't
Are you a
it
failure?
wasn't as bad as it wasn't as bad as it was last year because I had a little more idea of what to expect. Um, and I got a little bit of workout in prior instead of just getting up out of my gaming chair after 4 months of not doing anything. And so, but the first mile sucked. Plus, the wind was blowing like 30 to 40 mile an hour. So, it was a real long stretch where you were walking straight into the wind, and then a real long stretch where the wind was at your back. And so Cody and I, we started out. Um, we kind of made a left turn and then walkaways, and we made another left turn, and then it's that long stretch with the wind in our face. Everybody else was like, "Oh, we're gonna run into the wind." I'm like, "We ain't gonna do that, Cody. We're not gonna do that. We're just gonna power walk, keep a constant pace through the wind, and then when we hang a left turn and another left turn, we'll run with the wind at our back, because we'll just tire ourselves out if we try to run against the wind." He goes, "I like your idea." So we did that, and next thing you know, we almost lapped um, everybody else. So it was just Cody and I, way ahead of everybody else. And after that first mile, though, we kind of caught our second wind, and so we were moving at a pretty good pace, and Cody was taking pictures, and I was on TikTok, scrolling through TikTok while in the middle of a pack test,
Nice.
and it was kind of funny. We got to the end. We had enough time when we got to the end. We finished. We took our packs off or our vests off, and then we had to walk a couple blocks to where we left our drinks from the starting line or whatever. So we walked down a couple blocks, grabbed our drinks, and walked back, and sat there and bullshitted with the instructor for a while, and finally people started getting there, and so we were allowed an extra 30 seconds because of elevation.
Oh,
So um, Cody and I crossed the finish line at 41 minutes flat, and there was another dude who's kind of a heavier set dude. He crossed the finish line right at 45 minutes, and I helped him get his vest off, and he immediately started dry heaving and throwing up.
nice.
And then there was a couple of females that were right. So the one gal did fine. She was like 45 minutes and 15 seconds, and the one that was last, she had done the test the day before and failed it by 30 seconds. And then she came back the next day, which kudos to her, because I'd have been, you know, perturbed to say the
Yeah.
least, to do it 2 days in a row. But she was bound determined to pass, and she passed it. It was at 45 minutes and 29 seconds. She had a second to spare, or she would have failed. But yeah, everybody passed.
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, I felt a lot better this time than I did last time. Last time I felt like shit afterwards.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I get to keep my red card for another year and all that fun stuff.
Whoa.
Almost thought I was going to get called to another fire today.
There's a fire?
Yeah. It was in between. Would have been south of the not the first town to our east, but the second town.
Ah,
Um,
gotcha.
but yeah, we were in a red flag warning today, so high wind and just warm enough and dry enough for things to burn.
That's fair.
So
Trying to think. I have done almost nothing. Well, so since the last time we spoke, I went and looked at apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up very odd. So the first one I went to look at, that 2-bedroom that was really cheap, that like, whatever. That building freaked me out. Like, it wasn't like that bad of a building or whatever, and like it wasn't even in that bad of a part of town or whatever. But the inside of the building felt like the back rooms. I was like, no,
Yeah,
I'm
no
good,
way.
dude. I'm
No.
so good. I'm
No.
good. And like, to get to the apartment, we'd like get off an elevator, and it wasn't like most apartment buildings. It's like you got a long hallway this way and this way, and
Mhm.
maybe, you know, this way and this way is like a
Right.
square. No, we walked out like forward from the elevator to the left, down a hall, to the right, down a hall. It's like, dude, I'm gonna get lost, and there's gonna be a fucking monster that pops out. Wonder's not gonna be able to help me complete the mission. This is bad.
Right. Yeah.
So that one was really weird. Went to
PTSD every time you get off the freaking elevator.
right, went to the next two. They were like better locations, whatever, better buildings, better everything. Those two ended up being
Mhm.
nice. We spent the night. The next day we were going to go look at the building that was not the building, but the apartments that were both my mom's favorite and then my favorite, right?
Mhm.
She had one that she really liked and I had one I really liked. We showed up to the building where hers was supposed to be and couldn't figure out how to get in the building because there was construction going on inside the building. So it said, follow the signs to the leasing office. And there were no signs.
Here's your sign.
So we walked around the building for a bit, couldn't figure it out. It wasn't even that far from where the other two apartments were, but there was just something about the way the people in that building lived that bugged me. Because like, so I don't know how much time you've spent in the like more downtown area of Denver, but a lot of the apartments have like either like a balcony or a porch, like a front porch area that's like just really small, but like it's a little outdoor area for yourself at your apartment.
Oh, so it's basically like the apartments in Phoenix that I've
Sure.
stayed in before.
But like,
Okay.
so the other building that was only like 3 blocks away, everybody who had stuff outside, it was like very like organized and clean and whatever, and some people just didn't. This building, there was 2 different little balconies that were just full of garbage, like just packed. It's like, what like it didn't give off the greatest vibe, and we couldn't figure out how to get in, so we didn't tour that place. And then we went to the place that I like. The apartment was the one I liked the most. We never even went in and looked at the apartment, so we had like 2 hours because we didn't do the first tour, so that we didn't waste that time. And then we walked over.
Mhm.
Then we were like, we'll walk close, and then we'll go get breakfast. And then figured out that from that apartment, there's nothing anywhere nearby, like somehow at all. And so we didn't even end up looking at that apartment. We were just like, we will go with one of the 2 we saw yesterday that we liked, or we will make a different plan. And the bigger thing is we at least found like areas where it's like, this is, you know, nice, I'll be here, or this sucks, I don't want to be here, which is a bonus. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. Definitely gonna be weird for me.
Will it? We haven't hung out, we don't hang out in person
I know, but
anymore. Though I
always-
do want to. One day this week, or sometime soonish, we're going to spend a couple hours probably just at your house recording stupid TikTok videos. I have a plan. We kind of talked about this.
He's got a plan, folks.
We're doing stuff. I've got a plan, Arthur. See, and then that's why you'll have to come over. We'll record like multiple months of TikToks, but eventually you're going to have to come record more. In the wintertime, I'm sure I will be down here because holidays to visit people, so we can record those here. But in the summer, I can make you drive at least towards that direction and not feel bad about it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, we've decided if I'm actually in downtown Denver, which is the plan, I will be Ubering like outside of Denver and getting picked up farther away.
Fair.
Yeah, I totally understand it because it's not even like the actual. It doesn't really get bad on I-25 until you get like into Denver. Then it sucks. So
Right.
like I get it. If we can just pay somebody else to drive the shitty part, I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what the other part that always sucks about the interstate through Denver, it's like there's always construction.
True.
And they always had those stupid concrete barriers that are like they really narrow up the
Yeah.
road. And you're like one little mistake and you're side swiping concrete and it's like, God, come on, guys.
Yeah.
What? Fix the damn I swear, I've been going through this, back when I was still going to Phoenix a bunch, it felt like 3-4 years in a row there was construction and it just never moved for 3 or 4 years.
So I'm sending you a tweet on Twitter. And this tweet is why we hate men, just in general.
Oh God.
Yeah, it bugs me. Reading, not the replies, just reading the replies to the initial tweet, because I sent you a quote tweet, technically. Reading the replies to the initial tweet hurts my soul. I'm also really positive that like 90% of men are gay. Like actually, though. So it's a picture of a girl in like a fairly tight dress, and it's just everybody calling her fat because she has the tiniest amount of stomach, I guess. If that's what's considered fat, what am I, wonder?
Slightly more scrumptious.
I don't know, man. Have you're looking at the picture, right?
Yeah.
And then the entire
I'm trying to read the thing here.
Oh, yeah. The entirety of the comments as I'm talking about it is like calling her fat and ugly, which like, huh? I don't understand.
That's why internet's a bad place.
Yeah, dude. This is why we hate men.
Like, and then there's but there's so many people that have like come to her aid though.
Well, because they should, but also the insane amount of people attacking her is still insane. Doesn't make sense.
Right. The problem is though, the original person that makes the post,
yeah,
they're gonna have people following them that are
no, I know,
aligned with their point of view.
Yeah.
So it's gonna seem like there's a shit ton of people that agree with them when really.
Well, I mean, there are a shit ton, but it is just like a singular cult. But also, so moving away from that, I just saw it and it bugged me. So I don't know. NFL free agency happened. The Bills exist, I guess. They didn't do much. They added Joey Bosa. I don't really know if that is a move worth making. We don't want Von Miller. He's old and injured and sucks. So we're going to get Joey Bosa, who's old and injured and sucks. Weird choices is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The Vikings did a great job with free agency, other than they're pissing me off at the moment. And it's mostly because media members are stupid, because they're still being tied to Aaron Rodgers, even though. So here's the thing. I really need to get. First of all, I need to get a little figurine of the Thing from Marvel for all of the times I say, here's the Thing, and just hold that up. Here's the Thing. But first of all, nobody that actually matters has reported that the Vikings want Rodgers. There have been 3 people, all of them work for The Athletic, who have been saying that the Vikings want Rodgers. Every single other reporter is saying Rodgers wants the Vikings. They might be considering it, but they have made no offers. They have not made any contact. They're not actively pursuing it, which is correct. I'm sure there are conversations internally about every single free agent left on the board. That is how that works. I don't think any of them are serious, though, because the Vikings willingly let their own successful 27-year-old quarterback hit the market so that their young, highly drafted prospect could play in 2025. But sure, they are definitely having discussions about bringing in the 41-year-old that the Jets just paid $50 million to get out of their building. Sure, dude.
Right.
That what I think is actually happening is Roger. Well, okay. What I think is actually happening is, one, all of the leaks about Rodgers in Minnesota are coming from Rodgers' side, and that's why they're only going through a certain set of people. It's Rodgers planting this, the Vikings want me, because I think Rodgers really wants Minnesota, because after the offseason they've already had, where they've fixed the interior offensive and defensive lines completely and brought in corners and have fixed basically every flaw in their team through free agency. Yeah, I could see why Rodgers would go, yeah, that team's ready to win a Super Bowl tomorrow. I could see why he'd believe that. I also firmly believe, yeah, I've never seen J.J. McCarthy throw a pass in a regular season game. I will also bet every penny I ever earn in my entire reputation on J.J. McCarthy is a better quarterback today than Aaron Rodgers is. I promise. I guarantee it. I promise. Rodgers sucks, dude. I watched him play for the Jets. This isn't even J.J. McCarthy hype. This is Aaron Rodgers slander.
Right.
Christ. And I'm sorry, if the Vikings were going to pay somebody, they would have just kept Sam Darnold. That is...
Right.
Well, Sam wanted to sign a long-term deal. Cool. Franchise tag him. Force him to stay another year. Especially since Rodgers still wants Darnold money anyways. That's franchise tag money. Just keep Darnold for a year. Because Darnold is also a better quarterback right now than Rodgers. That's not a question. We saw Darnold play last year. Yeah, maybe Rodgers won't crumble in the playoff game, or maybe he will because he crumbled against every other team they played. Does nobody remember him playing against the Vikings and being the exact reason the Jets lost? Right. Aaron Rodgers from 5 years ago wins that game. But instead he got beat by Sam Darnold. I know which of those two I want.
Yeah.
But also...
Didn't the Bills...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, didn't the Bills also pick up a Steelers defensive player?
Larry Ogunjobi, he's fine.
Yeah.
He'll be useful, but he's not... But, like, the Bills also just don't have that much money because they just gave Josh Allen even more money. So, like...
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, and it's a smart deal for the Bills. I don't know how smart it is for Josh. Now, I do like that Josh was like, yeah, I'm getting $55 million. That's a lot of money. Well, you didn't want to beat Dak Prescott's number? He's like, what difference is $5 million a year going to make to me right now?
Right.
Which is like super fair. Yeah. Also,
he also
his wife is richer than he is. So they're good.
Yep. But also, he's also said that, you know, he wants to work with the organization so that they have a little bit of, you know, cap space. So they
this
can
is also smart. I know they're not winning yet, but that's okay. But, like, Josh Allen's still fairly young. He can take the huge contract still, because this is still massive. But get the money early, and then after this contract is up, sign way cheaper deals and just make your money early when you are the best version of yourself, and then take less and win later. Be Brady. Right. Technically, Brady won early, then signed massive contracts for like 8 years, because that gap between the Patriots dynasties was entirely because Brady started taking money. And then he went, oh, we can't win when I take this much money. I'm going to take less, and now we go win again.
Right.
Get your money early, get your wins later. It all works out.
Yep. Yep. Take the rest of this money and go get me some pieces.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. This is the most excited I've been for a Vikings offseason in a long time. J.J. McCarthy about to win a Super Bowl as basically a rookie. He still won't technically be the first rookie quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, though, because last year was his rookie year. I wish they had rules like the NBA does, where that doesn't count as his rookie year. Because, like in the NBA, if you don't play as a rookie and then you play the next year, like if you were injured or whatever, you can still be rookie of the year. You can still get rookie awards. I feel like that should be a thing in the NFL. If you didn't take a singular snap, you're a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Bills really need to pick up. Well, they need offense players, but I think they really need to pick up some defensive players.
No.
I feel like that was weirdly enough the weakest point for the Bills last year was the defense. I did not expect that. I thought both sides of the ball was going to be kind of shitty, but Josh Allen willed his way into where they were at. Only to fail again. Whatever.
Yikes. There are so many people currently getting swatted all the time. It's insane that this just keeps happening.
You want to join them?
No. I'm going to have to get like a sign for my apartment. Dear SWAT team.
That's smart.
I promise this is... No, it's really not, because they just won't believe it. It's so fucked, though. Because, like, people have died over this shit.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be... Me as a... Like, especially now that it's kind of, you know, a known thing that happens. You put a sign on the front door that says, hey, dear SWAT, I'm a streamer.
Right.
If you're here, most likely I've been swatted. Please don't shoot me.
Right. You might hear me yelling, I promise it's just a video game.
Right.
Break in and then immediately bomb has been planted.
Right.
Ridiculous, dude. Oh yeah, these fucking stop saying that. I hate that Elon's tweeting that also. So you know the way it's been reported is those two astronauts who have been stuck in space for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Even so, that's kind of what happened, but also it isn't. The SpaceX pod that they are bringing home in like next week, technically, has been docked to the space station since before they got there.
Mm-hmm.
They could have come home. You know why they didn't? Because that also brings home the rest of the astronauts on the space station this month. Since the Boeing craft had its issue and they said they're staying there, it was always they were going to come home when the rest of that crew does.
Mm-hmm.
It was always they haven't been stranded. They could have came home any day. They just got to stay and do more science. Stop with they were stuck there. No, they weren't.
They were there longer than they intended.
Yes, but they weren't stranded in space. It wasn't some major problem. It was fine. Because the space station always has extra food and shit in case people get stuck there for one reason or the other.
They have food up there for like 3 years or something.
They have
like
fail-safes built in so that bad things don't happen. Now, again, all sorts of things can still happen, but like the things that we can prepare for and actively prevent are actively prevented already. Yeah, if a fucking meteor comes through tomorrow and rips a hole in the space station, they all die. The odds of that are really low, and they knew that when they went.
Right.
But like, it was always fine.
Wouldn't that be wild though? You're up there on the space station, looking down to the Earth, and a world-ending meteor hits the Earth.
That'd be nuts.
You're literally the last humans left alive.
The issue is we'd know it was coming. Like, we can track meteors. We also can like prevent it from hitting us. We've actively done it. No, okay, we didn't actively prevent one from hitting us. That's not entirely accurate. But we did track one, see where it was going, and then send a ship to change its course to prove that we can do it. So, like, unless mysteriously an object comes from out of nowhere, which I guess is possible, but it's very unlikely, we'll just move it out of the way. Like, it is not something to actually be concerned about. Like this, the asteroid that they're worried about hitting us in like 6 years or whatever. Number one, doesn't matter. Because if it hits, we know it's going to hit in the Pacific Ocean. It might cause a slight tsunami. But, like, unless it actively hits a city, it's not going to do anything, man. It'll be like the Tunguska event. It happened in the Siberian forest where people, like, walked out into the forest and, like, thousands of acres of trees had been knocked over and there was this giant crater. It's like, yeah, an asteroid hit and nobody knew. Because 70% of the Earth is water. That 30% that is land, like 7% of that has people on it. Odds are, asteroid's not going to do shit. And the one that's going to hit isn't big enough to, like, do anything. Unless it directly impacts a city. That would be a problem.
Right.
But, like...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, big asteroids and stuff, we can see those pretty easily.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there can't be smaller, slightly smaller asteroids that go under the radar.
Oh, we get hit by them all the time.
Can't wipe out, can't hit, New York City or something like that and wipe out 1 million people.
But we also, even those ones are big enough still that we see them coming.
Right.
Like, the majority of the ones that we miss are just really small. Sure.
Right.
But, and, like, for most of the ones that are big enough to do anything, we've just tracked their orbit already. We know where they're going, and if they somehow were going to hit us, we can then do the math and track where they would hit us on this planet. And most of the time, the answer is just, cool, we don't need to worry about it. Because even if it hits us, it's not going to do anything. Unless you get really unlucky and your cruise ship is right where it lands. But then, honestly, let's be honest, you deserved to go.
Right? If you're that unlucky...
Or, like, if you're in an airplane and it gets hit by an asteroid and causes a plane crash. I feel like the gods decided, man.
Right, that's fucking wild. The odds of that is fucking...
Like, man...
Wild.
It was just your time. Sorry. Like, that's the way I just look at planes in general, other than it's a little more terrifying today than a year ago. But, still, in general, it's like, man, if I die in a plane crash, I was just supposed to go, man. This was it. It sucks. That's terrifying. But, like, it was time. Yeah.
I don't know. I think if I had to choose a way to go, it'd be like that submarine that collapsed on itself.
Yeah, right? Something where maybe not exactly like that one, because we think that they knew it was coming for a while. I don't want that. But, like, the instantaneousness of the actual death part, I'm here for.
I'd say it would happen so fast, your mind wouldn't even register what happened.
Yeah, it's just a couple hours before it where you're terrified that it's about to happen. You wouldn't even feel
the pain. Yeah. Because it literally just explodes every, nerve, blood vessel, everything in your body. You just basically become a liquid matter in a mere millisecond. And then the little fishies come along and eat you.
Yeah. Well, there's not much to eat.
Well, come along and, anything that might be left over. I don't know. I feel like that would be pretty...
Yeah. I don't know. I would love it to be something where I don't actually know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. The Vikings traded for Jordan Mason, the running back from the Niners who took over after CMC got hurt.
Oh.
Yeah. Vikings are cooking.
Oh, I got another CPU to play.
Nice.
Yeah. I played the Nebraska Cornhuskers last night. Actually, I thought they're the number one. They're ranked number one in the league. And so I thought I was going to get blown out by 100 points. I was actually in the lead for quite a while
Nice.
until like the last 2 minutes of the second quarter, and then it got kind of ugly because my own team was tackling me, which was weird.
Love that for you.
Yeah. Yep. Like it's hard enough. I'm playing the number one team in the league. I don't need my own offensive lineman tackling me at the 1 yard line
Why not?
because whatever. Still would have lost, but it wouldn't have been nearly the. I think it ended up being like 40 something to 24 or 28 or something like that. I don't know.
That's not the worst, I guess.
Yeah, especially since I'm a nobody team. I'm playing Georgia Tech, so
Yeah, dude, I really don't understand how you stay in that league while playing guaranteed to be the worst team of anybody in the
weirdly
league.
enough, I'm not the worst team.
Well,
I got
you
at least 2 or 3 other people that
you
are worse
are
than I
based
am.
on the players you have.
Oh yeah, but I try to I don't know. I try to win against people that they should have just absolutely murdered me. But I find joy in beating people that shouldn't lose to me. Um, Sometimes there's not much I can do about it because their team is like 94s and I'm 80.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just trying to get this team, do good enough that I can, maybe move to a better team at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're like, well, you could just, retire that coach and, you know, come in and choose a team that you would like that's open or whatever. And I was like, well, yeah, I do that, and then I lose all my coaching points. And then I feel like it's kind of like a, you know, I don't
So
know. I just don't feel good about it. So I was like, I'd rather just battle my way.
I don't understand these Vikings fans. Just use your brain for a second. Well, the Vikings not signing a backup quarterback means they want Rodgers. No. If the Vikings sign another free agent before the draft and pay him a contract worth more than $3.5 million, which is less than what you'd pay a backup quarterback, they lose one of the two comp picks that they gained for next year by Sam Darnold and somebody else leaving.
Mm-hmm.
No, the plan isn't to go with Brett Ripien as QB2. The plan is to wait until after the draft and sign Joe Flacco or Case Keenum or one of those. That's it. Stop pretending that either you're this stupid and don't deserve to keep speaking, or you're just pretending to be dumb to like keep engagement baiting about Aaron Rodgers. And either way, it pisses me off. Because you're either stupid or you're choosing to act stupid just because you need likes on your tweet. And either way, I hate you. True.
Making you mad makes me giggle sometimes.
It's true. He does like to laugh at me being angry. It's true. It's true.
One of my life's purposes is
Goals?
to piss off the geek.
Valid. I guess.
Somebody's got to do it. I would. Oh, yeah. I'm doing everything I can to try and figure out if I can afford this house in town.
Oh yeah, how's that working out?
Not so good. Not
Not
so
so good.
good.
Why not?
I would have it tomorrow if the interest rates weren't so fucking terrible. Ugh.
Well, that's not gonna go down anytime soon. I promise.
I know. I know.
It's
But
actually probably.
I just
Honestly, the answer is you either choose not to get a house in the next 5, 6 years, or you go buy that one now because yes, the interest rate is terrible. It's only gonna get worse.
well, it's supposed to go down, but
According to what?
um, well, I read a few articles where it's not supposed to go down a bunch, but they're saying by the end of 2025, they're thinking it could get to like a 6.5 to 6.3, and by the end of next year, it could be down to 6 or below. And but my thing is what I think is going to happen is I save up money. Aspen saves money. We combine our money, and we just try to almost outright buy a house, because that's the only way to get around interest rates is to just, here's cash, give us our house, or put $100,000 down payment on it or something like that.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off because the people that are selling the house, they have a 1.8% interest rate, and it's like, well, what's your monthly payment on it? And they're like, oh, just our mortgage is like $500, and then you add your taxes and your insurance on top of that, and they're like, yeah, that's like a little under $750 a month for this house. And I'm like, for me to buy the same fucking house, I'm looking at $1,700 a month, and the interest is so bad that I would end up paying almost 3 times what the original cost of the house was in interest. So a $180,000 house in the end is going to cost me almost $400,000. Make that make sense? How about somebody pass a law that you can't pay more interest than what the original fucking price of the house was?
That's stupid. It's got to be more than the price of the house, man.
No, because like the people that have the house now, they'll pay like 42,000 in interest by the time it's all said and done, which is less than half of what the original price was. It's just that's the only thing that's killing me. That's the only thing preventing me. If I had a 1.8 or 2% interest rate right now, I could with my money I make could have a $300,000 house and comfortably pay that bill.
Well, yeah.
But
I don't know, man. Everything is awful.
mm-hmm.
Everything is awful.
And nothing gets under my skin more than when you got some old dude that goes, oh, well, just be happy. Back in my day, it was worse.
No, it wasn't.
The Great Depression was worse. And I'm like, it literally, honestly,
Technically,
yes, Great
no.
Depression
It actually
was
wasn't.
terrible.
But like
it's harder now to buy a house than it was during the Great Depression.
I was gonna say, like, our economy is technically worse now than it was during the Great Depression. Yep. Wild to say.
Yep. But that pisses me off though when an older person's like, "Oh, it was worse back in my day." Bullshit. Well, we only made, $300 a month. I'm like, yeah, but you could buy a house for $5 fucking dollars. So.
Right. Yeah,
The
man.
value of the U.S. dollar is pretty much next to nothing.
Pretty low. Oh, goodness. I
And it
don't
won't
know.
be too much longer before our dollars, like the Iraqi dollar or whatever that is, where it's like you have to spend $10,000 to buy an orange.
Well, if we get to that point, the entire world's fucked currently, but
Yeah, well, we're not far from that anyway, so
yeah, you're right.
whatever. Whatever.
I don't know, man. I don't, dude. I thought I had more interesting stuff to talk about. I will come up with something better because next week we have to, at least next week we have to do 2, but maybe 3 to get pre-moved. So that'll be fun. I will try to come up with actual topics.
Well, we might have to try and do it on like a
Well, yeah,
Friday or
different days, not just all one go.
right.
What are you doing
Or-
tonight?
Well, I've just been playing Total War. Well, there for a while. I've been trying to do get all this information together for um, the gal that I'm on the fire department with. She does. That's her job. She helps people buy houses and
Your
sell
realtor.
houses. Yeah.
So
Being a realtor, but not really. She's
is
kinda,
Aspen still down here or no?
no, she just left a little bit ago.
You want to go? You want to come play cards?
Cards.
Yeah.
Kind of cards.
I don't know. I want to play Nerds again. Heather's not here, so it's a little less aggressive. Other than I'm aggressive, but you're used to that.
Who's all there?
Nobody. Like it would just be me, you, and the parents.
Mm.
If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I don't know why I asked this while we're still recording, but I did because it popped in my head.
Right.
Cope.
I honestly, that does sound fun, but I have not been home for a while, and it's been a really, really, really long weekend, and I'm kind of enjoying just sitting here,
That's valid.
not doing much.
That's valid.
And then,
Is your girlfriend
Aspen,
coming back down this weekend?
yeah, because we have to go to Denver.
Right. Duh.
Yeah, but she's
Brain.
like, oh, we could, what if we, because she's seen this thing on. She went down there when she was working for the forestry. They went to this area that they rent cabins for fairly cheap that you could just stay at for a night or two or something like that. And she's like, well, what if we rent one of those cabins and make a whole weekend out of it? And I'm like, it's, again, sounds fun, but that would be 2 long weekends back to back. And it's going to be a long trip going down to Denver and back in the first place. And she's like, yeah, you're right. Maybe some other time. I'm just burned out.
Fair.
I'm sure you've never been burned out before.
Not from traveling, but that's because normally home is here. Who knows if that changes after I'm in a place I like a little more. Like just overall. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how TwitchCon. I'm excited about like TwitchCon this year. Mostly because who knows if it's the last one I get to go to for a while, but also more of a, like, just figuring out, will I actually miss home for once or nah? Because, like, I never have during any of those trips. Normally it's just like, damn it, I gotta go back now.
I'm sure you'll discover some things that's like, I kind of fucking miss about, you know.
Oh, like, there's things I kind of miss about here, but it's not normally home. It's more certain places to eat and stuff that can't be replicated.
Yeah. Well, and you'll probably have that moment where you're like, fuck, I kind of miss home, but then you'll be like, oh yeah, I got gigabyte internet speed.
Once I move, I don't think I'll miss this version. I just mean like when I'm on trips, if I'll miss my apartment.
Right.
I don't really think I'm gonna miss much about here, man.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like
No, I'm
what you
not.
would miss
I don't. I
about
don't think
here.
I'm gonna miss much about here, man. At least not as like an actual place. You know.
Yeah. Aspen was, she was kind of venting to me. She was talking about how she's like, I'm worried about, I'm not very good at making friends. What if I have no friends? And, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, honestly, it's going to be tough to make friends. Hopefully, you get a job where there's some cool people that you can become friends with. But, like, there's not a ton of people here. So, and she's very old souled. So,
As
it's
soon
really
as
hard for her to get along with
That was loud.
the younger,
Yeah.
her age group.
Yeah.
She finds it easier to get along with those 60, 70-year
I
olds.
was gonna say shit. I'm gonna be gone. Tell her to go be friends with Rena.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe. Raina likes to cook, and so she. So
Right.
maybe she'll wander over there, and they can just have a,
Right. Just hang
have
out,
at
do
cooking.
things.
Right. Right. And Rena's always like, well, if you don't have a babysitter,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Just go make friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I don't think I
Yeah,
got anything else today. Do you? Oh, you were about to say
No,
something.
I was gonna say that it feels like. Well, I know I haven't been to work all week, but it also feels like I didn't have a single day off.
Yeah.
I knew that's how it was gonna be too.
Yeah.
Burned all my time, and doesn't feel like I had any time off. But oh well.
Welcome
what
to
it
no
is.
time off, man.
Yeah. Yeah. At least I still got sick leave if I'm feeling poopy or something.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for us. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.